Hello, everybody. It's Thomas48, 12th Man Fan here, and yes, I know, this video is extremely late. This movie came all the way back out on September 24th, and I'm recording this in January 2022. I don't know why this took so long, but anyways, welcome, finally, to my review of My Little Pony New Generation. I saw this when it came out, and let me tell you, in my opinion, it was a pretty good movie. So, with that, let's get into the review. Also, spoiler warning for anyone that doesn't want any spoilers. So, with that, let's begin the review. So, the movie opens up on kind of this, rainbow kind of background. A Netflix film, blah, 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 all that. And then we kind of get this 2D animated segment, and we see the main six from the previous My Little Pony generation, known as Generation 4. The entire main six is there. You probably already know their names at this point. Twilight and her friends. All of that. Unicorns, Earth ponies, and Pegasi used to live in harmony with each other. And then we kind of get this little scene right here where they're all together. It's for Equestria, and one of them's spread love, all that stuff. And then Rarity's fry brains, and then everyone's what? And he's yeah, I'm a unicorn and we're evil. This is basically Sunny and her somewhat friends playing with little figures of the main six. And then we go right into the actual movie, and then we see Sunny, Sprout, and Hitch all as little kids, And Sunny's no, stop. All the ponies are supposed to get along with each other, remember? And Sprout, of course, is boring. My mom told me that unicorns are Pegasi are evil or whatever. All the races have turned against each other. So, yeah, they all turned against each other. And they're they all turned against each other. So there's really no other way to explain it. And of course, Hitch is kind of with Sprout kind of on it a little bit. But he says that they could still play the game her way, he did. He doesn't mind, but Sprout does. And whatnot. And then Sprout's mom shows up. I think it's the mayor of the town, the mayor of the Maritime Bay town where they live. And all of that stuff. And then we also see Sunny's dad, Argyle, who has kind of been researching and studying, and says that a long time ago all races used to like each other, we saw in Friendship is Magic all the way back in the day as it was in the timeline. This is now farther into the future, past the season 9 finale, way past it. It's way into the future. But anyways, yeah, so, Sunny wishes that, that all the races could come together and love each other and everything. And, then we get this, a little scene with, Argyle and, Sunny hanging out, of course, Argyle kind of, dresses up like a unicorn, and Sunny rides on his back. It's cute. It's adorable. I really like those scenes. They're really cute. And then Sunny also makes a little card thing, and they send it by lanterns somewhere. Now we'll see that come in later on in the movie. It does show up again sometime later. And then we also have the little scene that we kind of saw from from the trailer where Sunny's now kind of like in bed and everything, and Argyle's there as well. I think his name's Argyle. Yeah, I think his name is Argyle. But yeah, he also made this cool little carousel thing with like stars and like I guess like all the different like pony races on it as well, which I think is pretty cool. And Argyle tells like Sunny the story about Twilight and her friends, you know, saving the day, like from like the past 9 seasons from the last generation. And then it kind of finishes it off with Sunny saying, "Why can't we be friends anymore?" And then Argyle's like, "Maybe one day we'll figure it out." And that pretty much does it for the youth part of like the part where like Sunny's like a little kid. So that does it for that part. So anyways, time goes past, and now we see it's morning, and then Sunny's alarm clock goes off, and we can see that she's somewhat fully grown up, or possibly like at a teenage or a young adult. I'm not quite sure. Somewhere in between that age. But anyways, yeah, she wakes up, her hair's all messed up, looks in the mirror, also looks at the calendar, and she also has like kind of like stickers on that specific date. It's kind of like it's basically the date of the annual Cancer Logic show, if you will. Now, Cancer Logic is some sort of like safety technology company or whatever that are trying to like protect Earth ponies from unicorns and Pegasi and whatever. So yeah, so she also like goes up like this sort of elevator thing, which is kind of the same place where they made that special little card, her and her dad. And I assume that she probably like drew out a plan or something. And then she puts it in her bag, gets all dressed up and everything, and she's ready to go. And then as we see, as she passes by, then we can also see that her dad unfortunately passed away somewhere in between that time. Somewhere in between that jump of that very big jump of time. I can't say when or how, we don't know, but maybe it was just because of nature of age or something. I don't know. Maybe something like that, or maybe something tragic happened. I don't know. But anyways, there's also this picture of her and her dad, and she's like, "Today's the day, Dad. I actually have a plan this time. Wish me luck." And then she goes out the door, and then the picture kind of goes a little bit crooked. And then there's this running gag throughout the film where she like tries to put the picture back up. Like, it's a pretty interesting running gag. I mean, I can get a laugh out of it sometimes. So anyways, Sunny gets her rollerblades on and her helmet on, and then she heads down the hill. And this is when our first song of the movie kicks in. And this song is Gonna Be My Day. And now, I like this song. It's a very good and upbeat song. Very good, very good. A very good way to kind of open the main part of the movie. So yeah, so Sunny, she kind of goes into town and everything, and we see all the ponies walking around and everything. There really isn't nothing to explain there, but we also see like a banner that says Cancer Logic Annual Show. And then she goes like to this like some sort of like milkshake kind of place right here. Kind of like picks up this trailer thing, and I guess he's like going to like deliver shakes or something. And then Sprout is also there. We see he is also fully grown up, and he sees Sunny go past, and he has kind of a suspicion that something's up. So he goes and follows her. So yeah, and then he kind of like follows her around like at least tries to. So there's several stuff that happens during this song while Sprout is following Sunny around the town. So first off, there's this kind of like little scene where Sunny goes past and Sprout kind of stops at this table where someone's like having a shake and a cookie, and he kind of like sips the shake and then kind of goes off, and then the guy figures out that his shake is empty, and then also Sprout kind of like swipes the cookie as well. Oh my gosh. Like, wow. Really got to feel bad for this. Really got to feel bad for that pony. Really wanted that cookie. But anyways, moving on. Then we also come to like this little scene where these like little ponies are kind of like hitting these like Pegasus piñatas or somewhat. And there's like candy coming out of them and everything. And then there's also another scene after that where Sunny comes across this like little pony holding a balloon, not having that great of a time, and then Sunny kind of like makes this unicorn balloon for that little pony, kind of like shows it to his or her parents. I'm not quite sure if it's a boy or a girl. I mean, honestly, with some of these ponies, it's kind of hard to tell with some of these background ponies. But yeah, they kind of like get a little startled by it. I mean, not surprised because they think that Pegasus and unicorns are evil and all that. So yeah. So anyways, Sunny continues on, and then also like Sprout kind of like takes this like skateboard from one of the little background ponies. He had like a hat on or something. But anyways, yeah, he takes that, and then there's also like this pony like kind of like checking out the sewers or something, kind of like lifts up the lid like a ramp, and then Sprout just kind of goes like flying. Like he goes up the ramp, and then we also see that he's kind of like going past in the background is like Sunny's like putting like stickers up on like the posts and everything. And then, yeah, she continues on, and then we also get, like, this little scene where all these other ponies are looking up in the sky, and they kind of, like, scream, and it's kind of looks like a Pegasus, like a, kind of like an alicorn Pegasus or whatever. It actually turns out just to be, like, two kites and everything, and then Sunny also comes up to, like, this poster where kind of has, like, this evil Pegasus, and she kind of like draws like this little heart around it and everything. So she continues on, and then she also like kind of like catches this trolley. Yeah, there's like a little trolley that goes through the town. And then, yeah, she comes up to the mayor's place, and then she stops, look at the place, and yeah, that pretty much does it for the Gonna Be My Day song. It's really good. And yeah, so continuing on. So, Sunny tries to make her way in, and then here came Hitch, right from behind like a sign or something, saying, "Oh, whoa, hold it there, you cannot go in." And then also, Hitch also has like these animal friends that tag along with him too, which I thought was pretty funny. There's like a seagull, I think there's like 2 seagulls and a crab. Yeah, that's pretty nice. So anyways, also, Hitch and Sunny do like a little like secret handshake or whatever. And then finally Sprout catches up with Sunny. He's out of breath. Like just been chasing her around the entire time of that song. Like, yeah, he's pretty burned out. And also Hitch just tries to like tell Sunny like, I'm not saying this as a sheriff, as a friend. Please do not pull any stunts. And Sunny's like, okay, I'll try. She said she'll try. Yeah, we'll get to the reason when she means try. So, anyways, Sprout takes the little smoothie trailer and heads into like the big building or factory or whatever. So yeah, Sprout heads into the factory, And we kind of see like all the stuff being made. There's also like these boxes getting lifted up by like claws and whatever, like little grabber things, basically like an actual factory. And then also Hitch is there by like some like dry erase whiteboard or whatever. And he's like, you know what, Sprout? I think I finally put Sonny's shenanigans to an end. Oh, that's what he thinks. So anyways, spotlight comes on. Everyone comes up to like this stage, and the show begins. Anyways, the show begins. There's like these cool like neon lights or whatever. And then they introduce the mayor, Phyllis Cloverleaf, that's her name. And she comes out on the stage and she like shows off like all these products that like help like protect these earth ponies, or honestly, she thinks protects them. And she has this little saying, is to be scared is to be prepared, which I think it's stupid. And honestly, that's kind of like what they're doing right now. I honestly say that is way too true to what is happening in the world right now. Like, they were really basing this movie off real life problems that are happening today in the world. But anyway, so they show off the products. The first one is this like a unicorn mind reader or whatever. Then there's also these like interesting like binocular goggles that like where you can like look up at the sky, but yeah, not gonna work because you can't see where you're going. You also got to look on the ground to see where you're going. And yeah, like the one that was wearing the goggles fell off the stage because he was looking up instead of down. Yeah, and then there was also this other thing. The balloon escape pack, where one of them pulled some sort of string, and then the balloons like come out, and then it actually like took the pony away, and he had no control over it, and he just goes right out of the building, and Hitch is like, yikes, that's gonna be a lot of paperwork. Yes, a lot. And also, that ain't the last time we see that pony. You're gonna see him throughout the movie. It's another running gag throughout the film, I guess. It's just like you'll see him in the backgrounds a few times throughout the movie. So yeah, okay, and then Phyllis shows off this like ultimate big product testing, and tells everyone to stand back. And like the whole process is like fully automated. So there's this like pony dummy thing. And then also Sunny comes out of nowhere. And just everyone's like shocked. And she holds up like this sign saying, "Ponies of Maritime Bay, fear is not your enemy. It's all a lie. Everything you've been told have been lies. But we can all become friends and like expand pony kind and whatever." And then there's like these like kind of like hoof lock things that come up, and she's like, "That is not what I meant." And then all this stuff happens. Like then there's like this like Pegasus thing grabber that like takes her sign and whatever. Like she tries to like hit it with the sign. Like it's pretty funny. I gotta say it's another pretty funny part of the movie, and of course he's just like, oh my goodness, Sonny, and he tries to like go over to like the ones that are running it and tells them to shut it off and everything. Like they're trying, but it's like fully automated, so it has to go through the whole cycle and everything. And then there's also like this unicorn trap device thing. And then the table thing that she's on turns, and then there's like this wall that kind of opens up, and then there's like this catapult launching thing, and she's like, oh no. And then she gets picked up, gets spun, or just gets like swung around the room. And, like, I don't even know how fast. Like, oh my gosh. And she's just flying through, like, oh, eat fire. And she just, like, gets hit by one of the splat things. I really don't know what they're called. They're just, like, I guess they're, like, some sort of, like, goo or something. I don't know. But anyways, that all happens. But he's just like, enough is enough. He pulls the plug. Everything shuts down. And then Sunny, like, then comes down onto the ground. It slides onto the stage. And then just everyone is in, like, absolute shock. And, yeah. How embarrassing. So, anyway, she's on the stage and she's, like, kind of explaining that they don't need any of this, like, cancer logic, whatever, junk. And Phyllis is like, oh, we don't. How do you expect we defend ourselves? With hugs and cupcakes and, like, whatever. But then, like, Sunny keeps explaining, like, how would it great it would be if you could have a friend that could fly? Or a friend that could, and then, like, Phyllis, like then chimes in, like, someone that would fry your brain or snatch you from high above, like, everything. And then Hitch is like, all right, Sonny, let's go. And Sonny's like, no, every pony needs to hear this. And she's trying to explain, but everyone's just, like, not listening. They're booing her, and Hitch takes her away. And, they go off the stage. So anyways, after Sunny and Hitch, like, leave, like, the Cancer Logic show or whatever, Sunny and Hitch kind of get into, like, a bit of an argument on, what happened. And, like, Sunny says that, like, every pony looks up to you, Hitch. You can help. And, like, all that. They kind of go on and, talking and everything, and then Hitch just, like, kind of says, everything that you heard by your dad was just a little full bedtime story. Like it or not, this is the way it is, and always will be. So Sunny kind of gets a little upset, and she's sad and everything, and I guess you could say kind of, like, sits down and, like, I don't know exactly what it is, but I think it's, like, some sort of thing in the middle of the walkway. I don't know what you would call it, but anyways, she sits down, looks into the distance, and she just says, I wish you were still here, Dad. So yeah, Sunny's just sitting down, feeling disappointed about herself, and then all of a sudden, we see a few ponies running away from something, and then Sunny notices it, and she's seeing that everyone's, like, running away, trying to, like, get away from the danger that was happening and everything. And then she also gets, like, trampled over. And then here comes my favorite character in the entire movie. So, this so-called monster whatever walks up, and then Sunny looks up, and she is absolutely shocked, and then it's a unicorn. It is Izzy Moonbow, played by Kimiko Glenn. And let me tell you this, Izzy's my favorite character. I love her. She's a great character. And Sunny sees her, she's like, oh my gosh, a unicorn. And then everyone just starts freaking out and just running away. One hides in like their shop or something. One like closes a trailer door. And Izzy like kind of thinks they're like playing a game like hide and seek. And she's like, oh, is everyone playing hide and seek? And she's like, looks at one of them and she's like, I see you. And then that other one over there is like, it's a unicorn. And he literally like jumps into the sea. Like, oh my goodness. Like, Also one like also hid in the sewers, like just absolute madness. So anyways, while that is all happening, Hitch comes out of like the sheriff's office with Sprout, and he's like, "Okay, what is going on here?" And then he sees Izzy, and he's like, "Unicorn attack!" And then also Sprout like tries to like get away, but he runs into the door. And then Hitch also sees like a little foal in danger, so he like picks him up, and then he like gives him to like this other pony. He's like, "Your son is safe now, ma'am." And then she's like, "This isn't my kid." And then he's like, "You're welcome." Like, I have to admit, that has gotta be a very funny part in the movie. Like, come on, that was pretty funny. And anyways, like, Hitch is saying, "Bring the unicorn traps," and everything. And then also, like, a piece of litter, like, falls down on the ground. He's like, "Pick up that litter!" I like how he added that in. That was pretty funny. So anyway, Sunny and Izzy tried to get away. And Izzy's like, "Wow, everyone's scared about playing games." And Sunny's like saying, "They're not playing. They're terrified." And then Izzy says, "Oh no, of what?" And Sunny replies saying, You're a unicorn. Earth ponies hate unicorns." And I just like Izzy's response saying, "Really? That's kind of harsh." And it really is. I totally agree with her. So anyways, there's also this like splat catapult thing that they also use to try to attack as well. I don't know. I think it's like some sort of like goo. I'm not quite sure. But anyways, yeah, they fire them at Sunny and Izzy. They try to get away. They hide behind like a trolley and stuff. And then there's more traps up ahead, and Sunny's just trying to like get her way through it. And then I like this little part. Izzy's like kind of like hopping over them. I love her, man. She's just so adorable. But anyways, yes, they continue on, and then they come to like this movie theater, and there are like there's like some Easter eggs here. It's kind of like parodies of like existing movies. Like there's a few references there, and like and Izzy like comes to the theater. She's like, "Oh, I haven't seen this one yet." She like looks up at the like thing. It's like kind of like a Terminator kind of reference. And there's also some posters that reference other ones. Like there's a Harry Potter one and like a Jaws one. Instead of Jaws, it's like horns. That's pretty clever. I will give him that. That's pretty clever. But anyways, Izzy gets captured by the little like little trap device. So Izzy got captured, and she's kind of like in that little unicorn trap device, and then Hitch comes along and says, "All right, every pony, it is all safe. The threat has been captured. You may now cheer." And all the other background ponies, do what Hitch told them to do. But anyways, Sunny walks closer and is trying to free her, and Hitch is like, "Don't even think about it, Sunny." But Hitch tries to keep telling her, but she gets closer and closer, and then she presses that big red button and frees Izzy. I don't know if that's... Honestly, if you're going to have a trap device like that, why have a huge red button that is clearly right there that would free them? I mean, that's kind of a stupid design, honestly. But, plot, whatever. But anyways, Sunny frees Izzy, and she's like, "So, your name's Sunny?" And then everyone once again freaks out. They run into the trap devices, and Hitch is like, "Sprout, to the lighthouse." And Sprout then kind of like kind of like purposely like traps himself in the trap. He's like, oh no, I am trapped. And like, oh my goodness. Like, he tries to be like this big bad villain, but he's really just a big coward, honestly. So anyways, Sunny and Izzy make their way to the lighthouse, which is Sunny's house, of course. And they get inside. Sunny tries to close all the blinds and everything. And then they kind of are looking at each other after all that. And Sunny's just kind of staring like, oh my goodness. She's kind of got like that oh my goodness look on her face. And Izzy also kind of looks at her with a smile, and she's like, do Earth ponies also like staring contests? And she kind of like has a staring contest with Sunny, kind of. And she's like, oh you win, I blinked. Like, I love Izzy, she's so adorable. And then Sunny says, there's a unicorn in my house. This is so cool. But then but then at the same time, she's like, wait, no, it's bad. Very, very bad. What have I done? And then Izzy also kind of like looks through this like telescope thing, and kind of looks at Sunny. She's like, wow, we look exactly the same. Except for this, of course, pointing at her horn. And Sunny's like, whoa, hey, be careful where you point that thing. Why not? Well, I don't want to get zapped with a little unicorn laser beam, but you probably already know that by now. But anyways, all of that, and then Sunny also kind of has like this notebook of all the questions she wants to ask a unicorn or Pegasus when she meets them. And of course, she kind of goes on like, where do you live? And well, the unicorns live in this sort of like forest place called Bridalwood. And the Pegasus ponies live in this like kind of like tech kind of city, Zephyr Heights. But we'll get to that in a little bit. But anyways, Sunny kind of goes on like asking Izzy all these questions, and then she's like, can you make this float? As she like kind of like knocks over this can of beans to Izzy, and she's like, no, but I can do this. Like then picks up the beans with her horn and kind of like juggles them with her horn, and then the beans like fly off her horn and then fall on the ground, opened, and then Izzy's like, ta-da! Her famous first line that we got from that first look trailer when they unveiled the cast. That was the first ever line that we ever heard out of her. And then like Sunny's like kind of confused, like, wait, you don't have any magic? Yeah, like it kind of turns out a long, long time ago, somehow, some way, all three races broken up and lost the magic of Equestria somehow. All of a sudden, from outside is Hitch and Sprout, and Sprout yells in this megaphone, Sunny Star Scout, come out with your hooves up, and, whatever they kind of said, and all of that. Like, saying you're under arrest and everything. And then Sprout kind of chimes in and says, yeah, you're completely surrounded. And literally, it's just like a wide open space with just them there. Like, yeah, you're totally surrounded. Not like there's completely open space, and it's not just the two of you. And yeah, Hitch is just not having it with Sprout. He's like, will you please let me do my job? And all of that. And then meanwhile inside, Sunny's kind of kind of like, oh, this is bad, and you know, all that, and then she kind of tells Izzy, how sneaky are you? And Izzy then says, about medium sneaky. And then Sunny replies, I can work with that. I'll distract them, and you go off. And then Izzy's like, I'll do the talking. And Izzy's like, it's fine, I'll do the talking. And then Sunny's like, no. And then Izzy comes out and comes out of the lighthouse, and she's like, hey guys, I know what you're thinking right now. And then Sprout just out of nowhere responds, she's already reading our minds. Run away before she fries her braids. And then Sprout just runs away, and it's just like, where are you going? And then Sprout yells in the distance, to get reinforcements. And also in the back, and also like somewhere in the background of all that, Sunny just kind of like pushes Izzy out of the way before Hitch turns around, and then he sees that they're gone, and he's like, oh, come on. Like, yeah, he had him right there. But wow, Sunny and Izzy ended up to escape again. So anyways, they escape out of Maritime Bay, and Sunny's like kind of like confused or something. Like she's saying, like, I can't believe this. I'm on a run with a unicorn that has no magic. And Izzy's like, well, to make you feel better, we did have it, but it just kind of poof disappeared. And she also says that it was many moons ago when they had their magic. So we could tell that we are so far into the Equestria timeline. Like, we made a huge time skip. I really hope that we get all these answers in these questions explained, all these questions answered when the series comes out. Also, by the time I'm recording this, there was some news that came out. We now know that there is going to be a small 2D animated series on YouTube, as well as a series and special coming to Netflix. But that's for another video. So, anyways, Sunny's still trying to process this whole thing, and she says, what are we gonna do? And then Izzy then comes up to Sunny and starts, like, sniffing her. And Sunny replies saying, what are you doing? And then Izzy replies, you don't smell. And then Sunny says, thanks. Wait, what? Like, okay, that part did make me chuckle a little bit. And then Izzy replies, it's weird because, you know, I was told that earth ponies smell like rotten sardines, but you do not. Like, again, it's with this whole propaganda and gossip and everything. Like, you know how it is. And then Sunny says, what else do unicorns say about earth ponies? And it says, oh, that you're just not the brightest ones in the forest and are not very smart and everything. And then Sunny just replies saying, charming. Like, oh my, this movie really has its moments. Like, already, so far, it is really good from where we are in the review. I was already enjoying this movie from where we are in this review. So anyways, Izzy says, what's the plan? And then Sunny's kind of thinking, and then she's like, I got it. Izzy, we are going on a quest to Zephyr Heights. So yeah, Zephyr Heights is like is where the Pegasi live. So you're probably wondering, like a lot of you are probably wondering, what the heck happened to Cloudsdale and all the other places for like Pegasi? Like, yeah, I'm honestly kind of, you know, a little confused by that, but Yeah. Again, hopefully in the series we'll get some exclamations on that. But anyways, Sunny like says we have to go and find out what happened to your magic and bring it back. The Pegasi have magic, but Sunny just but Izzy says, but the Pegasi are bad news. But then Sunny replies, what if you're wrong about them? Like, you don't know that. Those unicorns could be lying for all we know and everything. Like, everyone's like turned against each other and like they say like these very like ridiculous things about other kinds. Like, this movie is already reminding me of all the problems we have with racism in real life right now. Like seriously, I am not kidding. It's gone off the deep end ever since the George Floyd incident. I'm not even joking. Anyways, so like Izzy's still like kind of worried, and then she like goes into like this song, and this is our next song in the movie, I'm Looking Out For You. This is a really good song. This song is basically like about Izzy and Sunny going on their adventure, and Izzy's like very like, she doesn't know what lies ahead and is quite afraid of the unknown and everything, but Sunny's got her back. So it's kind of like their own like little duet song. I like it. It's very nice. It's very catchy. Like, honestly, that is 2 out of 2 songs. Very, very good. And also, I absolutely love the animation in some of the shots. Like in one of the shots, Izzy and Sunny are like running through like a forest, and then they're running through a pasture. Oh, it's so beautiful. I'm telling you, the animation is so beautiful in this movie. I love the CGI animation. They did such a great job on it. It's most likely not going to look this good in the show, but I don't care. I mean, as long as we got this really good animation for the movie, I love it. It is so good. I love the animation in this movie. But anyways, at the end of the song, then they're like on this hill, and then we see this mountain that they're looking at, and this mountain looks pretty familiar if any of you remember watching MLP-G4, then you would know that is the hill where Canterlot was. So you're probably all wondering, what the heck happened to Canterlot? What the heck happened? Again, so many questions that need to be answered. There's so much lore that we need to know about Generation 5. There's so much more lore there's so much more. If only like Friendship is Magic didn't have enough lore already. And now we have another MLP show that's most likely going to have a ton of lore in it. But anyways, yeah. So anyways, Looking Out For You, it's a great song. I like it. It's very catchy. And Vanessa and Kamiko Glenn did a very nice job with their singing voices too. They both killed it with that song. They did very well voicing the characters. Overall, all the voice actors were great in this movie. So yeah. Great song. So anyways, we cut back to Maritime Bay, and we're at the sheriff's office. This is where, of course, Hitch and Sprout are. So anyways, Hitch is like kind of like telling Sprout, I told her many times, I warned her, but she just doesn't listen. And basically, he's talking about Sunny like always coming up with these crazy ideas to bring all pony kinds back together again, and the many times that she's failed and everything. And then Hitch says, we got to go out there, find her, and arrest her, and bring her here and serve justice. But Sprout's like, well, I'd love to, but, I got to clean my workspace. And he also like knocks over like a pile of papers, like, get my papers in order. And then Hitch replies, you know what? All right then. It's most likely like that. This is a job for Hitch and Hitch only. And he kind of tells Sprout to like keep every pony calm and safe and just don't start a war while I'm gone. And oh boy, we'll get to that later. Just you wait and see. And now because Hitch left, basically, like, Sprout is like jealous of him. Like, he's like, oh, every pony loves Hitch. And like he just like goes on, like has a paid off mortgage, shredded abs, all that and everything. And while he's doing that, he also like goes through this calendar that has like multiple pictures of Hitch just wearing like several different uniforms. Like one he's of course a police officer, another one he's a fireman, a firefighter, and then a sailor has like some sort of shirt like in a gym or something. Like, okay, that part kind of made me laugh a little bit. And like Sprout says, I can do stuff. I can do things. Like that, and he like kicks like the drawers close and everything. And then Phyllis comes in and she's like, "Oh, everyone's terrified. Where is Hitch? We need him." And Sprout's like, "Ugh, he's off to go find Sunny. Another solo Hitch mission." And Phyllis then like tells him now with Hitch gone, Sprout is now the sheriff, and Sprout is kind of feeling good about this, but yeah, you'll kind of see with this whole sheriff thing, all this power is gonna go to it. It's gonna go to his head, like it's gonna go to his head really quickly. So, anyways, we cut back to Sunny and Izzy on their quest to Zephyr Heights, and now we can see that they're in some sort of like foggy canyon place. Like it's a very foggy walkway or something. And as they're walking, Izzy says, "You do know Pegasi can steal your luminescence, right?" And then Sunny replies, "My Lunuma what?" And then Izzy replies your sparkle. Yours is lavender. And the happier you are, the brighter it shines. So basically, everyone has some sort of sparkle to them. Like Izzy says. It's kind of a luminescence. I think that's how you say it, yeah. I don't know. I think it's some sort of, I don't know. Maybe we might get some more information on that later on down the road. But anyways, yeah, they're walking through and then something just whooshes past. And then they start running and there's some sort of figure that is chasing after them. So they climb out of the canyon to the top and Sunny almost falls, but Izzy luckily saves her with her putting out her unicorn horn and Sunny grabbing onto it. I don't know how that works, but I really don't even know. So anyways, suddenly appearing from the clouds, it's a Pegasus. And that Pegasus is one of our main characters as we are introduced to Zip Storm, voiced by Liza Koshy. I hope I said that right. But anyways, she sees Izzy and Sunny and she's like, "Whoa, a unicorn and an earth pony together? Okay, well, this day just got a lot more interesting." That was her first ever line when she was introduced in the first trailer when the cast was unveiled. Anyways, she hears some other Pegasus coming, and she's coming, and she's like, "Don't tell him you saw me." And she swoops down, and then Izzy replies, "There's no way we could. We don't even know your name." She seemed nice. She seems nice. Oh my God. I love Izzy in this movie. She's so great. I love her in this movie. She's so great. So great. I love her. So after Zip left, then comes the Royal Guards for Zephyr Heights. And one of them is freaked out because there's an earth pony and a unicorn right in front of him. And the other one's like, oh, relax. Earth ponies are harmless. They have a very tiny brains. And I just love how Sunny reacts to this. Like, she's got like this heavy look, then she kind of goes to like this more like grumpy look with her ears down. Honestly, I love the expressions in this movie. The animators did such a great job with the expressions in this movie. I just love the way how they made these characters' expressions, the way how they like react to stuff and everything. It's all so great. I love everything about how they did that. I love how they did it. It was very well done. But then, anyways, there's also the unicorn, and the Pegasus have like some sort of shield to protect them from like the magic part thing of the horn. And then the shield is a freaking tennis ball. Like, this tennis ball has basically been a meme, if you will. Like, from the first time the picture was first unveiled a long time ago, like a year ago or something, everyone like saw it and it became a meme. Like, it became a meme. Like, unbelievable. Like, oh my God. So, anyways, Izzy, like, replies with this, tennis ball in her head. She's like, that's creative. And then Sunny asks one of the Pegasus guards, like, a ton of questions, like, do you need a license to fly, or like, you know, all those questions that she wants to know. And then Izzy has another question. She's like, can you fly to the moon? and then there's a few more questions. I really can't like sit all them. There's quite a lot that she says in that one. But then there is one that I remember, like, she says, like, do you like wear horseshoes when you fly, or does it weigh you down? And then he replies, well, I do collect sneakers. And then the other one's like, hey, don't ask any questions. They could be spies. Like, okay. And then going up the elevator, Izzy and Sunny then look out the window of the elevator. They're in an elevator. And they see the city of Zephyr Heights. And man, I gotta tell you, oh my goodness. I can tell you there are so many horse puns in this. Like, literally. You take a look at, like, I could definitely point out a few. I could definitely point out a few of them. One of them says pony, which is like Sony. So that's kind of like a Sony company. Then you also have a screen that's pink with the words Z Heights, and it looks like the T-Mobile logo, so that's T-Mobile. Like, I could go on and on about how many ones. There's even a Nike one. Instead of saying just do it, it says just wing it. Like, oh my God. I love this movie so much. I really do. Oh my God. And then anyways, we see a news screen, which is ZBS. Zephyr Heights Broadcasting Service, like CBS, Central Broadcasting Service. Oh my god. It even looks like the CBS logo too. Oh my goodness. But anyways, yeah, we see the two news reporter ponies, and they're like talking about the big royal celebration that will take place at the Zephyr Heights Castle. And Izzy's like, wow, royal celebration? Talk about great timing. And here we are introduced to our next main character and our final main character. That is Pip Petals, voiced by Sophia Carson. And Pip, she's kind of like this princess pop star, if you will. And it kind of makes sense because, Sophia Carson is a pop star too. So, I guess it was very fitting for them to have a pop star voice her. So, anyways, Pip appears on the big screen and she's like, what is up, every pony? And everything. She's kind of like talking about the song that she'll like be singing. And also she has like this sort of thing that she calls her fans. I mean, like a lot of influencers or stars or YouTubers would like have like a group of people like called like the squad or something else. And anyways, Pip refers to her fan group as the Pipsqueaks. Honestly, I guess it kind of fits because her name is Pipsqueak. So, it fits. It works. But anyways, like, she's kind of talking to them more, and then she's also like saying like this song has a very, very special place in my heart. But she's like, not as much as you guys. And then one of them's like, we love you so much, Pip. Like, oh, okay, that guy that screamed that, he's probably more than just a fan. He's most likely one of those fans that would literally just die for their idol. Like, that's basically what he is. But anyways, Pip's like, I gotta go. Pip, pip, hooray. And then everyone repeats, and also Izzy repeats, pip, pip, hooray. Like, I like how Izzy, like still likes to be, like, she likes to be included with everything. Like, even though she really hasn't, like, been attached to it, she, like, still, like, says, like, I love Izzy. I could literally say how much I love Izzy in this movie. She's honestly the best character in the movie, if I'm gonna be honest. So anyways, they get off the elevator, and they're taken to the castle, where, of course, the queen and the princesses are. And Sunny's kind of looking around, and she kind of looks at Izzy and is like, do you see anyone flying around here? Like, yeah, basically, they need, like, magic to, like, actually fly. So, yeah, because there's no magic, the Pegasus can't fly. So, so they go into the castle, and then they come to, like, this throne room, and then the guard is like, kneel before our queen. And they all bow down. And then what actually comes out from the, I don't know, it like comes out like on the throne stage, and it's a little flying puppy who is called Cloudpuff. And the dog kind of like moves its paw a little bit, and just like kind of sits there. And we also have a white fluffy dog as well. Her name is Betty. So, Cloudpuff kind of looks like our dog Betty. A little bit. But then, anyways, But then, anyways, Izzy, like, as they all bow down, Izzy sees the dog and she's like, "Your Majesty." Look, again, I love Izzy. She's just so great. So great. There are a lot of times in the movie where she just really cracks me up, and this was one of them. So after that, then some sort of light then kind of shows, and then Sunny looks up and she kind of like taps Izzy like, "Look up there," and then here come the actual royal Pegasus ponies. You have Queen Haven, who is basically the ruler, and the queen, and then you got the two princesses, sisters. Like you got Zip, who we've already kind of met, and then we also have Pip, who's also introduced. So they come on down and they like sit in the thrones, and then Izzy then sees Zip and she's like, "Hi, new friend." And then Zip just kind of like has this look on her face like, nope, sip it. And then Izzy kind of like takes her hoof and then kind of shuts her mouth. Like she kind of like zips it, kind of, you will. Kind of the zip the mouth kind of movement. And then she kind of nods her head a little bit, like, again, another pretty funny moment in the movie. There's a lot of them. And then, anyways, then Queen Haven is kind of like saying, "Okay, this for whatever you called me for, it better be important. We're on a very tight schedule today. Cloudpuff needs like some sort of like work done to him. I can't remember. I think he's like needs to be groomed or something. And then Pip needs to rehearse, and Zip, I can't remember what she needed to do. And Queen Haven says, "I need to practice my laugh." Ha ha ha. Still not right. Like, yes, that's basically what they were trying to do before they got called. So anyways, then the royal guards are like, "Your Highness, we found some intruders." And then the queen kind of like lifts down her glasses and she's like, "A unicorn and an earth pony in Zephyr Heights." And the guards then reply, "We got them under control, Your Highness. Ooh, and we also deployed the shield." And Queen Haven, she's kind of like, "Is this an attack on the night of our royal celebration? No pony must know about this." And then, right after she says that, Pip has her phone, and she literally records the whole thing. Like she literally is like vlogging on the live big screen, and live on the big screen. And she shows the others that there's actually an earth pony and a unicorn, like literally right there in the castle. And she's like, "This is so not a filter." And then Queen Haven snatches the phone from her and says, there's nothing you need to worry, my loyal subjects. Those pesky little ponies have been captured. Your queen will protect you." And then everyone just gives a sigh of relief, and then Queen Haven then says angrily, "Shut it off." So then Sunny speaks up and says, "Your Majesty, I just want to ask you a few questions about magic." And then Queen Haven replies, "Guards, take these prisoners to the dungeon till I can talk to them properly, and confiscate the book." So the guards kind of take Sunny's journal book, whatever, and yeah, then then Queen Haven and the two other royal ponies, Zip and Pip, they fly back up, and Sunny's like, wait, no, Majesty, I just want to ask you a few questions. And Izzy then says, did she say dungeon? And then Sunny replies, what else could go wrong today? Sunny, you just had to say that. You just really had to say that. Do you know, whenever you say what else could go wrong today, nothing good happens out of that? Seriously, nothing good happens from saying that. Have we learned anything? So anyways, we cut back to Maritime Bay at the sheriff's office where Sprout is basically plastering his face all over Hitch's stuff. So yeah, like he literally just like plastered his face on Hitch's calendar. So yeah. And then all the ponies are kind of like outside the sheriff's office, and then Phyllis comes in and sees Sprout, and she's like, my, aren't you the handsome sheriff? And then Sprout says, yes, I am, Mommy. He's a mommy's boy. He is. And like Phyllis says, like, it's your time to shine now. You're in charge now. It's your destiny. So then Sprout tries to like burst out through the door, and he's like, citizens! And then the door just like shuts right on him. Oh my God, the slapstick in this movie. It's just, there is a good amount of slapstick in this movie that just makes me just straight up laugh. It's really good. Oh my goodness, I love this movie. And then, anyway, Sprout kind of like tells them like he's the new sheriff, and everyone's like panicking, like, where's Hitch? He can't be the sheriff. Like, you know, they're all like freaking out. We're all scared. And then there's also that one guy with the Pegasus goggles. He still has them on, and he can't see where he's going because his eyes are pointed up at the sky, and he can't see in front of him. And then Sprout is like, what if you're right? The unicorns and Pegasi could come back. Now is not the time to become complacent. Now's not the time to just hide and be scared. We must do something about it. And next week, you come to our next song in the movie. And this is basically our villain song of the movie. You know, whenever there's a villain, he or she always has its own song number. And basically, yeah, this is our villain song of the movie. Danger, Danger, which it's no doubt a bop. It is absolutely great. Just the metal guitar riffs, it is just so good. The way how it starts off with that familiar guitar riff, and then it just like turns into this metal song like mob, angry mob. Like, it's just so catchy. And there are a few references in this song too. One of them I want to talk about is one part where there's a pony staring at like this set of TVs, and on those TVs are the original Generation 1 show of My Little Pony. That was a good callback to G1. I was not expecting that. I was not expecting them to call back older generations besides Generation 4. I mean, I knew they were going to call back G4, but I didn't think they were going to call back a generation that was so far in the past. Like, wow, they referenced G1? That is something. Does this mean that maybe we could get a reference to maybe any of the other older generations? That's pretty much a stretch. I mean, it would be interesting to see if they could throw some sort of Easter eggs from other older generations. So I really could say the only one they can really do is Generation 3, and I don't even think we're going to get any references to that one, because it's completely different from any of the other My Little Pony shows that have been released. Well, G3 wasn't pretty much of a show. It was just direct-to-DVD VHS specials, but that's for another video. But yeah, the song is really good. I really enjoyed it. Probably one of my favorite songs of the movie, if I'm going to be honest. I just cannot stop just banging my head to it. It's so good. Anyways, yeah, there is also like a little part at the end of the song where the crab like snips his claws. That was pretty funny. That was pretty funny. So, anyways, after that bop of a song, we then like get this some sort of like commercial or something with like Pip like promoting like some sort of perfume. Like the narrator's like, "This princess smells, and so could you, La Pip." Like, okay, I really was not expecting him to throw anything like that in. That, like, I could tell you, there were some things in this movie that I really did not expect to appear in. So anyways, then we kind of focus off that big screen, and then we kind of focus onto, like, outside of, like, a jail cell, where we see Sunny, like, standing out, kind of, like, standing from the window behind the bars, and she's like, "Something is not right. We have not seen a single pony fly, except for the royal family. Izzy, are you listening?" And then it kind of like cuts to Izzy on like this massage chair with like cucumbers over her eyes. Oh my goodness. Like, and then she's like, "This ain't dungeony at all." I totally agree. Like, wow, this has to be the most nicest dungeon I've ever seen. Like, oh my goodness. It's like they want you. It's honestly like they want you to be a criminal. Like, oh my goodness. I could definitely tell you some people would become a criminal just for that room. Like, oh man, that was something. That was really something. Wow, Hasbro. Wow, you really outdid yourselves with that one. So, anyways, then Zip shows up, and she's like, "Hey, I'm sorry I got you two thrown in here." And then Izzy kind of like comes up and she's like, "Your Highness, Your Graceful Highness," or, all that. And then Zip says, "Zip, just call me Zip." So they introduce themselves, and then Zip says, "Sunny, Izzy, I want to talk to you about something, about magic." And then Sunny says, "That's why we're here. Maybe you could tell us how yours works?" Izzy has no idea how the unicorns lost their magic. And then Zip just like kind of cuts Sunny's words off like, whoa. The unicorns lost their magic? Well, that changes things. Listen, I think I have some information that could help. But first, you're going to have to tell me about this. And then she like pulls out Sunny's journal, and then Sunny replies, "My journal. Thank you, Zip. I thought I would never see it again." And then Zip replies, "Yeah, I could be pretty sneaky when I want to be." And then Izzy then replies, "Nice. I'm only medium sneaky." And then like Zip says like, "Where'd you find that?" "It was my father's," Sunny said. And then, like, Zip looks at it, and to her it looks familiar. She says, "That star." Like, it has, I think she, like, says it looks familiar to something. Anyways, then out of nowhere, we kind of hear these trumpet sounds, which are on a phone. Yes, there are like two phones that the guards are holding, and they like play this like trumpet sound. And here we see Pip again. And this is honestly kind of like where our two main characters, Sunny and Izzy, are kind of introduced to her, kind of. And then these guards like roll out the royal carpet while Pip like takes a selfie. and then Pip comes up to Zip and says, "Zip, what are you doing here?" "Mom said to stay away." And then Pip said, and then Zip said, "Right. So why are you here?" And then Pip replies, "For the content." And she kind of like takes another selfie. Yep, she's an influencer. She's kind of that TikTok influencer. And then Sunny says like, Your Royal Highness, why is no one flying?" And then Pip just kind of gets like a little like shocked by that, like, "Oh, only us royals can fly." And then Izzy's there like, "What?" And Pip says, "I know it's not fair, but that's just the way it is. If there was some way we could teach the citizens to fly, we would do it in a wing beat. Right, Zip?" And then Zip just replies like, "Yeah, in a wing beat." Oh my goodness. Oh, and then this part comes off. Probably another really funny moment in this movie is when Pip's phone goes off, her entire body vibrates. Like, oh my goodness. From like what I can tell, she keeps her phone like under her wing or something. And like whenever her phone goes off, her entire body just vibrates. Oh my goodness. That little bit really gave me a chuckle when I first watched the movie. Or when I first saw the clip. I saw the clip before I watched the movie, so yeah. And then Pip's like, "Oh, dress rehearsals, gotta go." And then looks at Zip and says, "And so should you." Me. Red feather, yellow feather, red feather, feather, something like that. I don't really know what the heck she was saying there, but yep, she prances off, and the guards roll up the red carpet behind her. Oh my goodness. Oh goodness. So anyways, after Pip fully leaves, and then Zip looks at Sunny and Izzy and says, "Come on, I want to show you something." And then she frees them by like this, I don't know, it's kind of like a hoof scan or something. Like she puts her hoof on it, and then it just like kind of opens the bar gates and to the dungeon, and then she's like, "You coming or what?" So Sunny follows after, Izzy follows after, but then she stops and she takes the tennis ball off by taking an orange from the fruit bowl and replacing it with the tennis ball. Oh, Izzy. Oh, man, you sneaky little unicorn. Oh, man. So then we kind of cut back to the mountain that Sunny and Izzy were climbing up earlier. And then we see Hitch climbing it. Of course, he's trying to find Sunny and, bring justice and everything. And he climbs up, and he's, like, very tired out. But then there's, like, these little bunnies that kind of come and, like, rub on his cheeks. Pretty adorable. And then he sees, like, some clues. Like, there's like a a pink heart sticker, and he's like, litter. And then there's also like a little piece of unicorn hair. And then there's also a feather, and he kind of like licks it and says, Pegasi. And then he kind of tries to see if there's any more clues or tracks ahead, and he kind of like puts his face down on the ground and says, the track's gone cold, the track's gone cold. Sonny, 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 you think you could escape from me? Well, and he kind of like goes on saying that nothing will stop him to find her. And then all the bunnies also like heard the whole thing, and they like use their ears to clap, which yeah, that's interesting. And then as Hitch continues on with his speech, then the clouds start to roll away and reveals big screens in Zephyr Heights, which has both Izzy and Sunny with like, those like prison pictures, and Sunny's got like this very like frowned face, and Izzy's got like a smiling happy face. Like, oh my goodness. Even in the baddest situations like this, Izzy's like, Izzy's like always like positive and upbeat and cheery all the time, and he sees and the bunnies are trying to explain to him, and then soon he turns around, he sees Sunny on the big screen, and he's like, gotcha. We then cut back to Sunny, Izzy, and Zip takes them down this takes them down in this basket, and it lowers them down into this sort of abandoned station. And they're like walking around, seeing it, and we see like all of the signs. Like there's one for Maritime Bay, one for Bridalwood. And Sunny just sees all of this and says, this is proof that all pony kinds used to be friends. My dad was right. And there's probably a few Easter eggs here and there, but one of the things that I did see in this scene, I think all of us saw, I believe mostly all of us saw, was one of the posters was for the Wonderbolts. Yeah, remember them from Generation 4? The big like Pegasi Air Force thing. Remember them? So yeah, that was pretty interesting to see that. And then Zip, which basically is like looking around, and Sunny says, it must be hard to know that you're one of the only ones that can fly. And Zip just kind of lets out a deep breath and says, the truth is, none of us can fly. We've been faking it. Yeah, so basically, instead of like actually flying, they're like kind of giving the illusion that they're flying, but they're really not. It's kind of like in those like live shows or plays where they have like something that flies, but they use like wires or something. That's basically what they do. They use like lighting and wires to like give the illusion that they're actually flying. So that's how the royal family kind of does it. And they say they're the only ones that can fly, but they really can't. And Zip just kind of goes on saying, that's why I come down here, to get away from all of that. And also so I can do this. And then she kind of jumps on this lever, and it turns on this huge fan. And then it kind of lifts her up. And she's kind of like swooping around on it, doing loop-de-loops and stuff. And then Izzy looks up and it says, her sparkle is so bright right now. So then she like comes down from the big fan and then says, that's not why I brought you down here. This is why I brought you down here. And then it kind of cuts to like this like big glass, this like a big glass picture, and it's got Twilight's cutie mark all the way on the top, and then on the left we have a unicorn, and then on the right we have a Pegasus, and each one of them has a crystal. And Sunny kind of looks at the crystal and with the Pegasus and says, "What is that?" And then Zip says, "That's the Pegasus crystal. It's part of my mom's crown." Then Sunny looks over and sees that the unicorn crystal's missing. And then there's like something underneath like that, underneath like a tarp on the ground, pulls it off, and there's the unicorn crystal. And then tries to put it together in the shadows, and then says, "Look, they fit. These crystals belong together, united." So then Sunny basically says that she kind of has like this theories, because is like all three pony kinds used to be together, but when the crystals were separated, they all lost their magic. And if they're all put back together, magic would return and all pony kinds would get along again. And then Ziff says, "Oh, what about the unicorn crystal?" And Izzy says, if you're looking for crystals, come to Bridalwood. We have like a bajillion of them." And then Sunny says, "That's where they'll go next. That's where we'll go next. Right after we get the Pegasus crystal from your mom, of course." And then it turns out it's definitely going to be tricky, because Queen Haven never, ever, 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 ever takes off her crown. And it cuts to like a few clips. The first one, she's sleeping with it on her head. She literally has it on her head when she's taking a bath. And she sings, "Keeping the Queen Clean" in the My Little Pony kind of, with the My Little Pony kind of theme to it. I gotta say, that part kind of cracked me up a little bit. And then she even has it on when she's like diving off the diving board into the pool or something. And then they kind of like come up with an idea, is that they can take the Pegasus crystal during Pip's big concert. All eyes will be on Pip. All eyes will be on Pip, especially Queen Haven, which she'll be distracted. And then Izzy says, "Oh, I can make a decoy, but I'm going to need like a box of macaroni, some jelly beans, and, a few other things," that she says. And then she says, "Glitter. Lots of glitter." Oh my goodness. I love Izzy. She's best G5 pony, without a doubt. So then we kind of cut to like this little montage of the plan being in action. And then we see Zip with these shades on by this like macaroni place, and it's called Macapony. Macapony. Oh my goodness. The pony puns just don't stop, do they? Like, oh, I can already tell. The people that worked on this movie were having so much fun with the pony puns. I can already tell. They were already having so much fun with it. So basically, Zip then like hands off the supplies to Sunny, then gives it to Izzy, and of course she crafts the whole thing together, makes the decoy, and Sunny and Izzy sneak into the castle with help from Zip, of course. And also, as Zip said during like the end of the montage, leading in to the big plan and everything on how it's all executed, and she says, "My mom would be so distracted. Swapping the crown out for the real one will be easy breezy." And then Sunny replies, "Easy breezy." Sure. Like, I definitely agree. Like, honestly, from that line alone, you probably think that something's gonna go wrong. Like, something is gonna go wrong. You just have that gut feeling that something is gonna go wrong and this plan is gonna fail. Just from that line. We then cut to way up high above the castle ground and everything, and it's kind of like the upper level where all the royals are getting ready for the concert. And then Queen Haven says, like, "Pip told me that you were like hanging out with those like prisoners." And then Zip says, "Pip told you?" "Oh, she tells me everything." And then Zip kind of goes on saying, "There's something that I want to tell you. The unicorns don't have magic. I think it's the reason why we can't fly." And then Queen Haven interrupts her and says, "Zephyrina." Like, okay, out of nowhere we know her full name. So basically, her full name is Zephyrina. But she's just called Zip for short. It's like someone's named Albert, or they're like, "Just call me Al for short." And then Queen Haven says, "I don't know what that unicorn put in your head, but what silly ideas that unicorn put in your head." our citizens are happy to know that are happy enough to know that we royals could fly. Why would you want to give that up? And then Zip kind of fights back with her words and says, because it's a lie. And then Queen Haven says, it makes them feel safe. Oh, one day when you're older, you will understand. Your sister does. And then rolling from like the top, we then see Pip hanging from the wires. And I gotta say, the way how she's like hanging from the wires with her wings down and the look on her face, I just gotta say, like, come on, how could you not awe at that look? That is, like, watch the clip and you'll know what I'm saying. It's really adorable how she looks in that scene. And then anyways, we cut to the guys that are actually like running the show, and they say, we are go for launch. And then the light comes on, and then Pip starts singing, and this is our next song in the movie, and this song is actually like the main song of the soundtrack. It is the song Glowin' Up by Sophia Carson, sung by Sophia Carson. And I just gotta say, the song itself, it's pretty good. Though definitely it's nowhere near as good as the other songs in the movie. But there are better songs in the movie. But this one isn't bad by any means. It's far from bad. It's good. It's a good song, but it's not as good as the other ones. It's not really as good as the other ones. And then, anyways, and then Sunny and Izzy are just hanging behind the throne, waiting to take the crown, and the moment finally comes, and then Sunny kind of gets lifted up by Izzy, and Sunny kind of looks over and tries to take the crown, but then a spotlight comes, so she ducks, and then once the spotlight is gone, she gets back up again, and she takes the crown off, replaces it with the decoy, and they try to run off with it. But then Cloud Puff kind of gets the sense that something ain't right. So he goes down, and so he goes down from where he's sitting, and he goes after Sunny and Izzy. And Sunny and Izzy are going through this door, and then there's this guard, and he's on the phone. He's like, no, you hang up. No, you hang up. Like, okay, I don't know what was going on there. But yeah, they closed the door, and luckily didn't get caught there. But then Cloud Puff is right there, and she sees them, she growls, and he growls, and Sunny and Izzy kind of get freaked out, and they run away, and Cloud Puff just kind of like chases after them. So anyways, they keep getting chased, and then they come to another door, and then they open it, and then we see Hitch, who is in disguise, has a mustache and some fake wings, and he sees Sunny and says, Sunny Star Scout, you are under arrest. And Sunny quickly slams the door on him before Hitch could finish. Which, that was close. Way too close. And then Cloud Puff completely snatches the crystal away and tries to take it back to the queen. But then Zip sees Cloud Puff and tries to tug it out of his mouth. She's like, give it to me. And then the crown kind of breaks a bit. The crystal broke off, and she only like grabbed like the little stand for it. And Cloudpuff had the actual crystal still in his mouth, and he runs off with it. And then he bumps into Hitch, and he looks at him, and Hitch looks at him, and Cloudpuff then kind of like gets this kind of like, and then Cloudpuff just like kind of like smiles at him, like I don't know, it's like something like we're kind of like seeing something here. Like, it looks like animals have, like, a huge attachment to Hitch. Like, whenever animals see him, they get attached to him. So he's kind of got, like, that. So it looks like he's kind of got, like something for animals. Like, honestly, he's kind of got a little bit of Fluttershy's traits. Like, honestly, I think, like, the main 5 all have, like, traits from the main 6. And definitely, we can tell that Hitch has definitely got one of Fluttershy's traits. And that was, of course, the love for animals. So, yeah. And then, anyways, Sunny and Izzy try to find a place to hide, and they go into like this curtain area where they're actually controlling the show, where there's actually like the Pegasi that are actually controlling the show. And then the guy looks over and says, it's the prisoners. And he runs around, and Sunny and Izzy are trying to say, no, it's all right, we're not here to hurt you. And then the guy bumps into, like, one of, like, the buttons or something, and then the lights the spotlights flicker, and they focus off Pip, and then they focus on Hitch. And then Hitch is, like, right in the middle of the spotlight. And he just tries to make up lyrics on the spot. Like, he's like, throw a glove, glow it up, throw a glove, throw it up above. Like... Oh my goodness. I definitely gotta say this is another really funny part in the movie. And though I gotta say, Hitch is definitely doing better than others when they're thrown into the spotlight. I mean, I honestly would not be able to make up that many lyrics in that like time. Like, with a spotlight coming down on you and you make up lyrics on the spot, I definitely think it's not that good. Sometimes you just don't say anything at all because you're so frightened. But I will definitely give Hitch credit for completely, like, making up all those lyrics right on the spot. Good on you, Hitch. Good on you. And then the control pony then, like, knocks into, like, into one of the controls on the control panel, and then that kind of flings Pip up into the air and makes the whole wires thing go absolutely haywire, no pun intended, and then she kind of flips over and then lands upside down on the wires, and then everyone sees the wires hanging down on Pip, and they're like, she's a fake. And they have all their cameras out saying that royals can't fly either. It's a lie. Fake. And luckily, Sunny and Izzy do get the crystal. But then... And then Zip kind of looks over at Pip, and then Pip looks at Zip and says, Zip? Like Pip, like, knows what she done. And And then Sunny kind of bumps into Zip, and that kind of causes the crystal to fall out. And then we kind of have like them being chased by the police or something. We don't see them though. But they hide behind an alleyway, and they lost them. So they're in the alleyway, and then all of a sudden on the big screen comes in like this news report, like, breaking news, Zephyr Heights is in turmoil as they find out that royals can't fly either. It was all fake. And then we have all these people, all these like ponies they're asking, like one of them says, Pip used to be my favorite. The other says, if we can't trust our royals, who can we trust? And then the other one said, I blame the unicorn and the earth ponies. They ruin everything. Oh, and then this line right here. The news reporter says, this just in. Queen Haven has been arrested for being a phony pony full of baloney. I'm very impressed how the voice actor was able to say that without a straight face. With a straight face. Like, I don't even know how many takes it took to get that right. I probably guessed she laughed a few times looking at the script. I mean, I thought it was pretty funny when I first heard the line. But then, anyways, Sunny then realizes that they lost the Pegasus crystal. And Izzy said, well, on the bright side, we had so much fun losing it. Once again, another great Izzy quote. And then all of a sudden, from the shadows in the alleyway, it's Pip, who has her mane all messed up. She is mad. And she says, some pony better explain why this thing, the Pegasus crystal that she's holding in her hoof, why this thing was so important that you had to ruin my whole show over it. And then Zip says, trust me, it was. And Pip pulls it back and says, you left me hanging back there in the spotlight. Now they don't know us. Now they know that us royals can't fly either. And then she also gets a notification from her phone, and it's another news report that Queen Haven has now been under arrest and is now in prison. And Pip starts freaking out. Like, she's like, what? This is not happening. This is so not happening. And then Zip says, Pip, I know things might not be great right now, but we know how we can bring back magic. And then Pip's like, have you lost your mind? And, it kind of feels like kind of impossible at this point. And she really thinks that it might not work. But in the end, she just kind of goes with it and just forth it and just join them. And she's like, ugh, fine. I know a way out. And she kind of leads them out of Zephyr Heights. So, yeah. So anyways, we cut back to Maritime Bay, and we're at the Cancer Logic factory where they're building something. They're building something. It's supposed to, I think it's supposed to be a very important thing at the end of the movie or something. It's something for the big ending climax, the final battle. The final boss, if you will. But, yeah, so they're building whatever it is, whatever they're trying to build for the final climax. We then see Sprout coming down this elevator, and he's kind of got this kind of emperor suit look going on. And as he came down the elevator, he's like Darth Vader. The Darth Vader reference. Oh my goodness. That part honestly does give me kind of a chuckle, not gonna lie. So, anyways, he comes off the elevator, and then we see Phyllis again, who's walking right towards him, and she's like, Sugar Cube, I know this whole top secret project is very important to you and all, but when do you think my workers can get back to making Cancer Logic products? And then we have like a pony that falls from like a high place and he lands right on the hard floor ground. Jeez, oh my goodness. I definitely gotta tell you, he's probably broken one or two bones after that fall, because there's no way he's in full good condition after that kind of fall. Because if you fall from that height and land on a hard concrete surface like that, you're probably gonna break a bone or two. And then Sprout says, "Get back to work, Glitter Cupcake." No, seriously, that's the pony's name that fell. Glitter Cupcake. Wow. What an absolute generic name. That has to be one of the most generic names I've ever heard from any pony character. In all 5 generations I have watched, Generation 1, Tails, G3, G4, and now G5, that has to be one of the most generic and just very lazy names I've ever heard. What an absolute lazy name. I would probably... They honestly, for the background ponies, they're like, okay, what should this character's name be? I don't know. Maybe like Glitter Cupcake or something. Sure, why not? Name him Glitter Cupcake. Why not? I mean, he's not important anyway, so who cares if we just give him a generic name, right? Like, yeah, so... Yeah, there you go. Glitter Cupcake. Such a generic name. Anyways, then Phyllis replies, "It is my factory, after all." But then Sprout then kind of replies back, "It's my town, Mommy. And your son is now Emperor of Maritime Bay." Like, wow, okay. First you're the sheriff, and now you're the Emperor out of nowhere? Like, wow, you really think you could just, like, skip all of those years just being a sheriff and just go straight to being Emperor? Don't work like that, buddy. It don't work like that. But then and Phyllis also, like, kind of replies, "Emperor? I thought you were the sheriff. You were the sheriff yesterday." And then Sprout, like, replies, "You see how fast I'm climbing up the ranks? This defense factory is going on offense. It's all because of your encouragement, love, and support." Anyways, they get back to work, and just... Phyllis has just this sinking feeling something is gonna go wrong. And she replies, "Oh dear, some pony's getting a big habit." And I definitely agree. This is definitely going too far. Sprout is taking this way too freaking far. Way too far. So anyways, then we cut back to our main characters in a daisy field next to a big tree with pink leaves. And Sunny looks at the tree and says, "That's the tree from the map. That means it's this way." Wherever the crystal is where she points. And then we cut to Hitch and Pip, which are just right behind the others. And Hitch is like, "What am I doing here? Hoofing across daisy fields, looking for a magical crystal that doesn't even exist." And then Pip says, "This was supposed to be my best show ever. And now it's over. And it's all because of them." They both say together. And that is so not cool. And then Hitch replies, "No, it is not." Did I just agree with the Pegasus? Hitch, yes, you did. You most certainly did. And then Pip comes up to her sister Zip and says, Does she even know where she's going?" And then Zip replies, "Don't you even trust me?" And then Pip says, "I don't know. You after all, were the one that just got thrown Mom in jail." And then Zip says, "Look, once we find that crystal and get the magic back, everyone will be so happy they will forget about all of that happened. You'll be a hero, Pip." And she just kind of shakes her head like, "No, this ain't gonna happen. It's not gonna go well. You know, all that." And then we cut to Hitch talking to Sunny like, "Okay, let's make this very clear. Once this whole escapade is over, you are gonna march back to Maritime Bay. Is that clear?" And she's like, "Yeah, whatever." Like, she's got that look on her face like, "Yeah, sure, whatever, I will." And she replies, "Crystal." And then Hitch says, "Great, because this badge, like touching where his badge is, means I'm the sheriff." No. Where's my badge at? And then he points at Izzy, who's like coming up, and says, "Hey, you! I know unicorns like shiny stuff." And then Izzy says, "Oh, I think I did see a shiny badgy thing on the ground a few hours ago." And then Hitch says, "What? Hours?" And Izzy says, "Well, maybe it's for the best. Between you and me, buddy, that badge was creating an unhealthy power dynamic." And then she just prances her merry way along. Oh my goodness, I absolutely love Izzy. I absolutely do. She's got this very energetic and just very, very happy personality. And she's just so freaking cute. Like, I don't even know how many times I have to say it. Izzy is so freaking adorable. Sometimes I just wish I could just squeeze her. Like, she's just so adorable, man. So anyways, they come up to the bridge, and the bridge is out. It's gone. Like, the little entrance and exit pieces are still there, but, like, the main middle part of the bridge, gone. Like, it's no longer there. And then Sunny says, "What are we gonna do?" And then Pip says to Zip, "Any ideas, Zip?" And then Zip replies, "You know what would be helpful right now? Let me think. The ability to fly." And then Pip kind of argues back, and then Hitch sees the argument going on. He's like, "Well, that does it. I'm out of here. Come on, Sunny. It was nice meeting you all, but it really wasn't. Come on, Sunny. Let's go." And then everyone's continuing to argue, and then Sunny finally snaps and says, "Every pony stop! We're going to get to the other side and bring magic back." And then starts pointing at all of her friends, saying what they will get in return. And she points to Zip, saying, you'll have the ability to fly. And then points to Pip, saying, "You'll get your fans back." And then finally points to Hitch, saying, "You'll have me in custody. Every pony happy now." And then during all of this, Izzy goes up to a nearby tree, takes her unicorn horn, and then starts pecking at it like a woodpecker, I guess. Makes the tree fall over, and it creates a bridge. How? I literally don't know how she did that. How in the world? I don't even know. How did she do that? But then anyways, they get to continue their journey, and then Zip's like, "All right." And then Hitch says, "Oh, great. Yep, Hitch, you're coming along on this adventure whether you like it or not." So they go across the bridge that Izzy made for them. But seriously, how in the world does she, peck her horn at the tree and then make it fall over? You know what? I'm not going to question it. Don't question Izzy. Don't question her. So as they cross the bridge that Izzy made for them, the log, the little tree thing, we then see up above, and that pony that got carried away by that balloon escape pack, he's still up there. Yeah, he's still floating around up there. So, yeah, we see him for a few seconds, and then we see our heroes stop for a rest, and they, make a little campfire, and, Sunny and the other girls are by the campfire, while Hitch is making his own campfire, but it's not going too well. Like he's trying to make the fire, he's kind of rubbing the sticks together, trying to spark some flames, and it worked a little bit, but then the flame goes out 1 second after it goes up. And as the flame goes out, Zip's oh, well, that was depressing. Hey, come on, dude, don't be a hero. Come here and get warm. So then Sunny comes over to Hitch, and Hitch says, are you really sure about this? And then, Sunny's come on, what do we got to lose? And then Hitch replies, oh, I don't know, giving back magic to our enemies? What do we got to lose? A lot! And then Sunny, replies, oh, come on. Do they look like enemies to you? And then we see Izzy talking to Pip, and then Pip says to Izzy, my sparkles aquamarine? That's my 6th favorite color. And then Hitch is I don't know. Maybe I should go back to near Maritime Bay, where I'm needed. And then Sunny says, well, if that's what you want, but I want you to know, I'm glad you're here, Hitch. We all are. Basically for a good reason, because, Hitch, he's like a sheriff and everything, so, and he's kind of a leader, a little, So then Sunny goes back over to the fire, and she kind of tilts her head a little bit, come on, Hitch, get on over here, that kind of movement. And then Hitch just does this the horse noise. Get it? Ponies, horse noises. Yeah, I get it. I get the joke. But yeah, he sits down on the fire, and he just just sits down immediately with kind of a frown on his face. Oh my goodness. But then, anyways, Sunny says, all right, we'll set off tomorrow morning. Next stop, Bridalwood. And then she sees Izzy, and Izzy's got this sad frown expression on her face, and Sunny's Izzy, what's wrong? And Izzy said, well, you are all the best ponies I've ever met, and I really don't want our adventure to end. And Sunny replies, but Izzy, you'll get back your magic. And then Izzy kind of smiles back, and then Hitch asks, why did you come to Maritime Bay? And Izzy says, I always wanted to visit. When I was a filly, I found this pretty lantern. It had a message inside. And she kind of pulls this little piece of paper out of her mane and says, it said that I have friends in Maritime Bay. And it was the letter message that Sunny and her dad made when Sunny was a little filly, from the beginning of the movie, if you remember at this point. Probably you don't, because I've just been talking with my talking with my voice for like over like a few hours now, or at least I think it might be a few hours. I don't know the runtime right now, but yeah, pretty much. And then she looks at Sunny and says, It was you. I made it with my dad. Together, we knew that one day all pony kind would be friends. We'll do our part, hoof to heart. Oh my goodness. Oh man, I swear every time I watch some sort of movie, there's always some sort of part that gets me all emotional. Like, wow, Hasbro, you really hit me there. You really hit me there. You've done that a few times with the Friendship is Magic series. And you've done it again. Wow. And I expect probably even more in the future. And then we see like them all like coming together. Like Izzy and Pip, they like put their hooves out and they, connect their hooves together. And then Sunny and Zip look at each other and Hitch says, I want to do my part. What do we got to lose, right? I probably must say, Unicorn Forest sounds pretty magical. And then, boom! We then, cut to, this foggy, spooky forest with all these, do not enter signs. I just love how we go from what Hitch said to that. That was perfect. And then Hitch says, or not. And then Izzy just prances along and says, come on, my house is not far from here. And then just goes into this spooky forest. And I just like how she's just so happy going through that spooky forest. It's just so funny. Oh my goodness. I love how Hitch just says, I gotta say, a unicorn forest sounds pretty magical. And then we just cut to that. This spooky forest with all those do not enter signs. It's just so freaking hilarious how perfect that was. So anyways, after going through that super spooky forest, we then reach Izzy's house. And it's a beautiful, a really huge, beautiful tree. It's pretty nice, actually. A very nice home. And then Izzy says, welcome to the Sevilla Izzy. At least I think that's what she said. It might have been something else, but I think that's as much as I could say about it. I mean, I might have pronounced it wrong. I don't know. We'll see. Let me know if I pronounced it wrong in the comments or something. So anyways, they get inside and they look around. So anyways, we get into the inside of Izzy's home, and I gotta say, it's quite nice. And there is a lot that there is in there. There's a painting with eyes that move. Kind of creepy. That's definitely something I would not want to see in my sleep. Yeah, definitely not. But anyways, then there's this little instrument made out of glass bottles or something, and then Sunny turns it and it plays the My Little Pony theme. Wow. My goodness. They really had to throw that in there. They really did, huh? They had to throw it in somehow. And basically, how Izzy made all this is that she recycled a lot of it's basically recycling, but in Bridalwood, where Izzy's from, they call it unicycling. Yeah, it's another pun. Unicorn, recycling, unicycling. Yeah. And then like, Izzy's like, wait, hold everything. I never got to use this with actual friends. And then it's like this kind of flower thing. And then, I don't know, like, she turns or hits something, and then it blooms into this beautiful, like, table. And it's, like, so beautiful. I definitely gotta say, I really like all the stuff that Izzy created. Very, very creative. Like, she takes, like, old objects and then crafts them into something new. I really like that. I really like that. So anyways, she's wanting to have, like, having, like, a tea party with all of them, but Sunny's like, we don't have time for that right now. If we're going to get information and, like, get the crystal and everything, we can't stick out from the rest. We need to fit in, look like unicorns. And then, of course, Pip's like, yay, makeovers. I love makeovers. Like, of course she does. Like, yeah, she's pretty much like that social media type who does, like, makeovers and makes TikToks or whatever, She's kind of like that. But anyways, then, like, Zip's like, well, no. This is not what I signed up for. And Sunny says, Izzy, can you do it? And then Izzy says, a glow up? Honey, you've come to the right cottage. And then we get ourselves another musical number, another song number. And this is Izzy's song number, and it's called Fit Right In. This song, without a doubt, is probably my favorite song in the entire film. It is so good. I absolutely love it. I'm not going to, like, point anything out on it. I'm not going to, like, point any of the lyrics out or anything. Like, just go and watch the music video. It is so freaking good. The song is so catchy. The visuals, oh my goodness, it is so good. Like, go and watch it right now. Click off the video, or tap off the video if you're watching it on your phone or something, and watch this Fit Right In music video. It is so good. Or if you just want to wait till the whole review and watch the movie, then if you just want to go watch the movie, then just do that or something. But yeah, it's very, very nice. Very good and catchy song. Definitely the best song in the entire movie. So after that song, they're all suited up in incognito and head out into, the actual part of Bridalwood, which I definitely got to say, Bridalwood looks beautiful. I love the trees. I love how well it's animated. Very nice looking. And then they come to like a pile of crystals, and then Izzy comes up and is like, ta-da! Crystals! 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 And she just keeps saying crystals as she pops up on some of them. Like, a very funny part. Izzy has a lot of great parts in this movie. There's so many parts in this movie where I just absolutely love Izzy. Like, she's such a great character. But anyways, they go straight into, like, the town center area of Bridalwood, and then we see all the unicorns, and there's something different, though. With all the magic gone, they all seem very depressed, and they're barely moving and everything, and it just looks so slowed down and dull. Compared to the unicorns and Izzy, it's a complete 180. It's a complete 180 difference. Anyways, Hitch comes up to some more crystals by this playground. He says, how can we tell which ones are magic? And then this little cult unicorn says, ooh, you said a bad word. Literally, that's how he sounds like. It's like a British accent. And he says, hurry, before we get jinxed. Oh. Bing bong, bing, bing bong, bing bong. Like, that's literally what they do. They literally do, like, this whole, like, bing bong thing for some reason. I remember watching that for the first time. I was like, what the heck is happening? So basically, it turns out it's a little thing to, well, Izzy says that unicorns are very, very superstitious. So, whenever anyone says a forbidden word, they have to ward off the jinxies, as she calls them. And those forbidden words are magic, wing, feather, and mayonnaise for some reason. I don't know why. I mean, seriously, I kind of agree with Hitch. What's wrong with mayonnaise? Why is that a forbidden word? I have no idea. I honestly have no freaking clue why. But I don't know. Maybe it might get explained, maybe not. We'll have to wait and see. Hopefully we get some explanations on that in the series, but maybe we won't. I don't know. Maybe we'll never know. Maybe we'll never know about that final one. So, they come up now to this, I guess you could say some sort of like a hangout area for the unicorns, the Crystal Tea Room. And Izzy says that there is a unicorn that collects crystals and thinks that he could help. So, we go inside and we're seeing, of course, unicorns sipping tea, sitting at tables. There's also some sort of unicorn telling jokes or something, but, you know, they're not really that great. But, anyways, so they come up to this crystal collecting unicorn, and Sunny comes up and says, so, words in the forest that you collect crystals. And the unicorn says, well, yes, I do. Well, I did. I lost them all in a competition with Alphabeetle. And then Izzy says, oh no. And, well, so Alphabeetle is basically, I guess you could say, the owner of the establishment. And then he has like this Rubik's Cube game. And he basically wins every time. And the other unicorns place bets on stuff that they're trying to win, and they always lose the bet, and they lose their stuff. So yes. Anyways, Sunny's got, like, an idea. I have an idea. Maybe I could beat Alphabeetle at his own game. And, well, Izzy says, be sure to, like, you know, play cool. Alphabeetle can smell fear. So Sunny goes up and plays it cool. And she's like, tea. And then Alphabeetle, like, you know, like, gives her, like, the cup or something. And then this, like, a little, like, a rat creature. I don't really know what they're called, but yeah, they, like, kind of, like, work at the establishment too. They try to push the little, like, milk thing, and then Sunny, like, stops it and says, hold the milk. Quite the game player, I see. It passes the time. Why? Do you play? I don't play. I win. And they kind of talk back and forth, and Alphabeetle says, big talk for a little pony. And then Sunny replies, I think you'll find I'm average height. Tick-tock, what do you say? And then Alphabeetle says, whatever you're betting, it must be special. And then she literally, like, pulls out the Pegasus crystal. As, of course, they're trying to win the unicorn crystal. And, well, she bets the Pegasus crystal, and then Izzy kind of pulls her back, and they're like, and then she and the others are like, what are you doing? Like, seriously, you are literally betting away one of the crystals we already worked so hard for. I mean, we literally had to ruin one of the characters' big shows just to get that crystal. But Sunny's like, don't worry. I could solve that. I could solve that Rubik's Cube puzzle in my sleep. And then Izzy says, but if we, and then one of them is like, if you lose, we lose both crystals. And Sunny says, we won't. And then Alphabet'll says, Izzy, if your friend is done stalling, do we have a deal? Deal. Now give me that cube. And then Alphabet'll pulls it away like, oh, no. A special prize calls for a special competition. Bring forth the ultimate challenge. And then we come up to this little dance floor thing, and it's an arcade dance game called, you ready for this? Just Prance. Get it? It's like Just Dance, but yeah, it's another horse pun. You're going to find a lot of those. I think you're going to find a lot of those in these. I mean, when it comes to these projects, you're probably going to see a lot of horse puns in these My Little Pony movies and shows and whatnot. But anyways, so basically, it was always like a two best out of 3, but Alphabet says, let's make this more interesting. You only have to win 1 out of 3. So Sunny only has to win 1 game to win the whole thing. So it starts, and this is where we get our next song. And this is our main pop song of the song. It's called It's Alright, I think. I think that's what it's called. But anyways, the song's okay, but let's just say this song has just been done to death in the marketing. I cannot tell you how many little teasers I have watched with this song, and it just drives me freaking crazy. Please be a new song. Please don't let it just be that generic pop song every single time. And what do you know? They throw it right in. I cannot tell you how many small short clips on YouTube I've watched with that little jingle of the song. It's just really driving me crazy, and it just really has gotten really annoying. But thankfully, it's not really being used that much anymore, so thank God. I'd rather listen to Glowing Up or Gonna Be My Day as a little thing to put in the background. That's much better. I would rather listen to that than that pop song be anything, The song's not bad, but it's just been done to death. It's just so annoying how it's just been done to death. But anyways, Sunny loses the first one, and Izzy says, it's okay, you're just warming up. And then we get this, and then right after this, Alphaville says, I'll make this quick. And Sunny says, focus. Yeah, I heard a lot of people saying that she said the other thing, to basically put this in non-bad terms. She mainly just said F this. That's what they're thinking she said. But I don't think she didn't say that. There's no way. There's no way. She said focus. That's what I think. If you want to think that she said the other thing, go ahead. Live your own life. Live your own opinion. But I don't think so. But it's pretty funny how they think that. I do have to say, them thinking that is pretty funny. Sometimes some words are misheard in in these these kids movies. Sometimes there are some words that are misheard and can be mistaken easily for bad words that are usually not said in these kind of movies. But yeah, I don't think she said that. But anyways, the second match begins and Sunny loses again. And Alpha Beetle says, "Hey, critters, get my crystal polished, will ya?" And Sunny's just fearing the worst. Like, she knows that she's probably going to lose this final one, and everything that she worked for is just going to come down and just tumble and be in shambles. And she's like, oh, here goes nothing. But then Pip starts motivating her. Now, this kind of confuses me a little bit. Through this entire trip, Pip has just not been, like, motivated at all. I mean, like, ever since, like, you know, when they pretty much ruined her big live show, she was not happy to be tagging along. And then all of a sudden we see her being like, okay being tagged along during, like, the campfire scene. Like, is there a scene that we missed or something? I think there might have been some more stuff to do on that. I mean, even though they didn't, like, give us a scene where Pip, like, actually changes her ways about this trip, this movie's still pretty good. Even if they don't have that. But I honestly think it would have been better if they would have included that. But anyway, she says to Sunny, "Hey, Sunny, you feel that? Feel the rhythm taking you over. You feeling it?" And Sunny says, "Oh, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it." And then she kind of gets into this rhythm. And then she just starts, like, going on the dance floor and absolutely killing it out there. And the bar just keeps going up. And lo and behold, she won. That motivation that Pip gave her drove her to win that final match and clinch the unicorn crystal. Or so she thought. Let's just say that she celebrated a little too hard, which caused the fake unicorn horn to come off. And just like that, their cover is blown. And Alpha Beetle says, an earth pony. And then Zip says, and Pegasi. And then Izzy comes in and says, and a unicorn, which you knew already. That's another line that got a chuckle out of me. But then anyways, Alpha Beetle decides to, like, you know, disqualify Sunny and have her give the crystal because, you know, she tricked him. So technically she didn't win fairly in his eyes. But, like, come on, Alpha Beetle, a win's a win. She won fair and square. Like, come on. Give her the crystal. Come on. But anyways, he does it and he says, hand over the Pegasi crystal. Now. But then Hitch, in this situation, says the words that he wasn't supposed to say. He says, magic wing feather mayonnaise! I just love how the mayonnaise word just echoes throughout the entire freaking tea room. And then they start singing the Bing Bong thing, and then Sunny and her friends make a run for it, grab the unicorn crystal, and get the heck on out of there. So, now they have 2 crystals now. Is it enough to bring the Ponykinds back? Well, we'll just have to wait and see. So anyways, they escape. They, go far into the woods, and they think they lost him. And then, coming from the bushes, it's Queen Haven. You know, the Pegasus Queen, the ruler of the Pegasi. Well, Zip and Pip are like, Mom, what are you doing here? And Queen Haven is like, oh, thank Hoofness. You girls are okay. Hoofness. So, is it like, oh, my hoof now? Like, I mean, this is Equestria, so is the whole, oh, my Celestia thing not a thing anymore? I guess it isn't. But anyways, that's not all. Coming from the other side in the bushes, well, first, then comes Cloudpuff, the dog, and gives Hitch back his badge. Cloudpuff somehow found it. I don't know where he found it. I don't know where he found it. It might be a she, I don't know. But that might have been where he found it. I don't even know where he found it. I don't know where he found it. But, yeah, sorry about that. Anyways, then coming from the other side, we also have Alpha Biddle and the Unicorns. And then also the Royal Guards from Zephyr Heights are also there saying, Your Highness, you're coming back with us. Like, she broke out of their prison to, like, literally, like, go find her daughters and bring them back home. And she's like, I know you're all upset, and I know that everything is not looking right, but please come back to Zephyr Heights. We can make this right. Spin the story and they'll love us again. Are you sure about that? I mean, what you did was quite damaging to your whole reputation. You literally said you could fly, but it literally turns out after all these years, you've been a fake. I don't think they're going to welcome you back with open arms after what you did. But anyways, then Alpha Biddle comes in and says, like, give me the Pegasus crystal. I want it fair and square. And then Queen Haven's like, oh, I doubt it. Unicorns are known for cheating. And they just start arguing. And this whole argument is, like, building up. And then Sunny finally snaps again and says, no pony has magic. And it's just, like, quiet for a second. And then one unicorn, and then one unicorn on the side says, bing bong. I just like how it's silent and then that little bing bong part. And then Sunny says, I know it might sound very, very crazy, but we can bring magic back. Just trust us. We have the two crystals. We can bring all pony kinds back together again. So she and Izzy go up like on top of go on like some sort of like stage rock or something, and they put the two together. One of them has the Pegasus crystal, the other one has the unicorn crystal, and then they slowly put them close to each other, and then they connect, and nothing happens. No magic beam, no rainbow, no, like, shooting rainbows or anything. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. And then Sunny's like, no, it can't end like this. Oh, work. Like, she tries to keep putting them together, and then nothing just seems to be happening. Everything that she has worked for, to her, now has just been a waste of time. And then Hitch comes up to Sunny and says, it's okay, Sunny. You did what you could. You tried your best. But like, Sunny's just so upset. She came all this way on this journey. This journey to try to bring all pony kinds back together again. And the crystal just does not work. It just doesn't work. Just nothing. So Sunny just decides to just head back to Maritime Bay and just put this whole thing behind her. And just completely just give up. So she and Hitch head back to Maritime Bay. And then Hitch says, "Hey, Sunny, if you need anything, I'm right here." She kind of looks back at him for a second and then looks away and then heads back to the lighthouse. And she slams the door and she didn't even bother to reposition the picture on the wall, which was kind of a whole thing throughout the movie. If you remember from earlier in the movie when she straightens up the picture before she heads out for, her big plan at the Cancer Logic show thing. That was earlier in the movie, but now you're seeing that So Depressed doesn't even bother to reposition the picture. And then she goes up to her room on the windowsill and is just so depressed. I really feel for Sunny in this scene. I mean, I honestly get a little emotional watching this scene. I feel so bad for her. She came all this way. You take a look what our hero has gone through to get to this point and then gets absolutely nothing out of it. I would feel the same way too if I came all that way and then just got nothing out of it. But anyways, she then looks at her, her pony figures of Twilight and her friends, and then she just puts them away. And then also puts away, the little nightlight carousel thing that her dad made. And she goes upstairs to, this, that little, that top place of the lighthouse where she and her father made that little message thing that went to Bridalwood and Izzy got. So yeah, she goes up there, takes down some of the stuff on the wall, but then she comes across this little hole thing in the middle of the table thing on the upper level of the lighthouse. And then she sees that crystal inside the little nightlight thing. And she takes it out, she puts it in the hole, and lo and behold, puts it in, and then something happens. The little hole thing then kind of transforms into this little holder thing for all three crystals. There was one crystal missing. They were missing one crystal, and that was the Earth Pony crystal. This meant that there was still some hope. There was still hope that they can bring back magic. And Sunny's just so surprised that we got another chance. We still have a chance at this. There's still hope. So after realizing that there was one crystal missing, Sunny rushes out of the lighthouse, goes back into the town of Maritime Bay, and then her smile starts to fade a little bit, and she realizes that a lot of the stuff around her was completely empty. There was tables knocked over, it looked like an apocalypse or something. But then anyways, Hitch runs out, and then Sunny says, "Hitch, I figured it out. There's one more crystal." Before she could finish, there's fireworks in the distance coming from the town hall. So Sunny and Hitch go check it out, and then there's all of these ponies wearing these unicorn mind reader things. And they're marching towards the town hall, and Hitch is saying "What is going on?" And then one of them is "We can't tell you. We signed the official Sprout ballot." So yeah, while Hitch was away, Sprout was now the sheriff and now the emperor, as we saw earlier. And now it has taken full force. So they come up to the town hall, and then here comes Sprout with his badges and everything and his sunglasses. And then he comes up to the little place where he would do his speech, and he says, high chair please, chair please. And they move this stool thing, and they put it up a bit. He straightens up his glasses and everything and says, "Citizens of Maritime," and then this huge banner of him covers him. I definitely gotta say, the slapstick in this movie is pretty good. Very good. So he takes that off and he says, "Can we try that again?" And then Hitch is "Sprout, what is going on?" And then Sprout says "Oh, would you look at that? Little Hitch came running back. Whee!" And Sprout says, "I'm about to do what you couldn't. Attack our enemies." And then Hitch says, "Wait, no, you don't get it." Basically, remember in the beginning of the movie where Hitch basically was kind of siding on the whole thing with unicorns and Pegasi being the villains? But now you can see he's had a change of heart. He's gotten character development, and now he knows that they're not as bad as he thought they were. So now he's officially on Sunny's side now. So you can see the big change from how he was at the beginning, and now near the end of the movie, you see he has a bit of a change of heart. Quite interesting. The unicorns and Pegasi are our friends. Also, they don't have magic. And then Sprout says, "What? They don't have magic? Well, that makes it even better." And then Sunny says, "But we can bring magic back and have all pony kinds be friends again." And then all the ponies with their gadgets on are "So we don't have to fight? Well, that's a relief." But then Sprout says, "Wait, what? No, you don't realize what's going on. They've been brainwashed. You're going to be brainwashed too if we don't end this now." So they all put their stuff back on. And then Sprout then brings out this huge mech thing. It the ground opens up, and then this big mech thing of him then comes up from up above. What the heck is happening? And then as it comes out from the ground, he says, "Say hello to Sprouticus Maximus." And then, Phyllis was kind of on board with the thing, but now she's kind of realizing that things have been taken a little too far. And she's "Baby, dear, this is a little too far." I totally agree. Oh my God, Sprout took it way, way too far. Oh my God. And then he climbs in and says, "Onto Bridalwood." And then he pulls the little cord that sounds the horn. I gotta say that was pretty funny. I'm pretty sure he was just waiting to do that. But anyways, then he goes on forward, and Sunny and Hitch run off to warn the unicorns that they're coming. So Sunny and Hitch, they rush up the hill, they go past the lighthouse, and then Izzy and Pip and Zip come back. Yeah, they come back and they say, "We don't care if there's no magic. We just want to be friends. We don't care what anybody says. We just want to be friends." And then Alphabetal and Queen Haven also come over and say, "Come back to us. I know we understand that you're upset about this whole thing, but it's time to go back home. But then, like, Sunny says, you're all in danger. And then Sprout with his, like, big mech comes up. And along with his, other, like, soldiers, I guess, with the antenna things. And he says, well, you look at that. Our enemies have come straight to us. And then Queen Haven's like, no, we're not here to fight. We're not here to fight. We just came here for some reason. And of course, Sprout's like, I do not accept your surrender. Load the splatapults. And then his assistants run away, and he's like, oh, why do I do everything myself? And then he, like, brings out, like, all, like, the kind of weapons this mech has. And they say they need to, and then, like, they need to stop this thing. And Sunny says that the only way to stop this thing is with magic. And she says to Queen Haven and Alpha Beetle to like, give her the crystals, because there is a third crystal now, and now we pretty much know how to do it all, because there's also, like, a holder for them in the lighthouse. So, yeah, put them in, boom, it's all over. So, and that's kind of like how it's planned, and well, they give her the crystals, and they rush to the lighthouse, and then Sprout sees them, and he's like, oh, no, you don't! And he goes straight charging at them to the light, and he goes straight charging towards the lighthouse. And so Hitch and Zip, they get on the mech trying to stop it, and then Sunny, Izzy, and Pip go up to the top of the lighthouse to try to put the crystals in. Now, of course, it looks like they're going to do it, but then all of a sudden, Sprout rams into the lighthouse and causes the crystals to fall out. Like, there's the Earth Pony crystal fell out, and then they loaded the splatapult. Well, Sprout, like, launched the big splatapults and launched, like, big splat balls. One of them hit Alpha Beetle as he was trying to protect the critters. And then and then Pip kind of steps on the Earth Pony crystal and finds it and tosses it over to Sunny, trying to put it in. And then Sunny says, we need the unicorn crystal. And Izzy's trying to look for it. And then she finds it, but then another big ram happens, and it causes the crystal to nearly fall off the lighthouse. It's barely on the edge. And then Pip steps on this, like, lift thing, and she falls down, but she's okay. And then, meanwhile, Phyllis is chasing Sprout, and he says, Sprout, it's time to put the toys away. And Sprout says, Mommy, I'm in the middle of something. And then Phyllis yells back, you come down here right now. Oh my goodness. Finally, Phyllis is finally standing up and trying to put an end to what Sprout is doing. Because, of course, she was kind of on board with this whole thing, but now she's saying that Sprout's taking it a bit too far. When she meant trying to protect her citizens and everything, this is not what she meant. 100% not at all. But then, anyways, Sprout says, Mommy, but I'm in charge! Trying to ram into the lighthouse again, but then Phyllis comes right in front, trying to stop him. Like, she literally comes right in front of the mech, about to get run over, but Sprout, of course, gets scared, turns the other way, and turns away, and yeah, so, and also, And also, Izzy did get the unicorn crystal, but she falls off, but nearly falls off. And she tries to reach for the crystal and got it. So they put in the final crystal, hoping that it would work, and Sprout gives the lighthouse one more ram, and it's about to fall over. And we're down to the last seconds, and it's like crunch time now. They gotta put in that crystal now, or the whole thing's gonna topple over. So they put in the final crystal, and nothing happens again. And then the lighthouse, the top falls over. It's like in slow motion. And then the whole thing topples over. And now you're probably thinking, that's it. Our heroes are dead. Ha! Psych! Did you really think that they would kill off the main characters? Heck no. They're the main characters. They got the main character powers. They can pretty much survive anything. It don't matter how high or dangerous the fall is, they always survive. It basically runs in every single movie when the main character falls into a terrible situation. But anyways, yes, Sunny, Izzy, Pip, they're all fine. They're all okay. They're fine. They're fine. But anyways, so yeah, everything has all said and done, and then we see the aftermath, and basically nothing has gotten better. Like, it's just gotten worse. Like, no one's feeling good at all. Not even Sprout is. Like, yeah, you see what you did? You took it a bit too far. And I think you're going to... And I definitely think Sprout should be under arrest for everything that he's done. I mean, seriously, this dude has caused, like, so much property damage and basically put many lives in danger. Like, he should be thrown in jail by now. But anyways, so we kind of look at the wreckage, and the most hurtful part of this is that Sunny sees the picture of her younger self and her dad. The frame broke. It's broken. And then Sunny then realizes, I get it now. It's not the crystals that need to be brought back together. It's us. We can either be, stuck in mistrust or not trust anyone, or, spread all this propaganda all around. Or we could choose friendship. We could choose love. That's the true magic. You know what they say? Friendship is magic. Ha! Funny! But, yeah, in all seriousness, Sunny's right. And I think a lot of people in this day and age should take note of this. Because let's just say that racism and propaganda has been a huge problem in today's world. And I think all those people that are, making fun of other races could definitely learn a thing or two from this. But anyways, so then all the leaders of the different kinds, they, like, Pegasi, Unicorn, and Earth Pony, that would be Phyllis, Alphabeetle, and Queen Haven, they all put together the frame back together, and they put it back together, and yeah, so you're probably thinking that's pretty much how it ends. that just might be the end of it. But then, there's a glow from the crystals underneath the rocks. And then the crystals start to lift up. And then they rotate around Sunny, and then they lift her up. And then, all of a sudden, wings start to glow around her, and then a horn glows on top. Yep, she's become an alicorn. Well, not technically a permanent alicorn. You see, I know a lot of people are saying, "Oh, Sunny's gonna be an alicorn for the rest of the series." Oh my God, oh my God, just absolutely screw you, Hasbro. No, you got it all wrong. Basically, these are not like permanent wings and horns. They are holographic wings and horns that are used like as a power up. It's like a power. So it's not permanent. But anyways, she becomes a pony with alicorn powers, and then the crystals, they all come together, and then boom, a rainbow explosion in the sky. Sparkles and rainbows, magic is back. Unicorns can now levitate stuff, and, they can use their horns now, and Pegasi can fly. So, yep, everything is right in the world. Everything is back the way it should be. Yep, our heroes have done it. They have brought magic back after all these years with ponies not having them. Anyways, then the magic spreads over to other places. Of course, it spreads in Maritime Bay, then it goes to Bridalwood, and of course it goes back to Zephyr Heights. And it just starts spreading all across Equestria, and everything is back to normal. And then we all see all the different pony kinds, hanging out, taking pictures, hanging out, talking, making friends, putting back everything the way it was, and fixing up the town after Sprout completely wrecked it. And then we see Sprout and Phyllis, and Sprout says, "Mommy, was I a good sheriff?" All I'm gonna say, Sprout, is, no, you weren't. You have caused so much trouble. You have not only costed a lot of property, you not only destroyed a lot of property, but you also nearly killed some ponies. I mean, Sunny, Izzy, and Pip, when they were in the lighthouses about to tip over. Honestly, he should be arrested for many, many things. But this is My Little Pony. They really don't do that. Even though I think that the villain should be taught more of a lesson so he will not do this again. But, whatever. It's My Little Pony. It happens all the time with villains. Most of the time. I mean, Friendship Magic wasn't afraid to kill off or give a severe punishment to villains. This one, however, didn't really do that, but it's fine. But anyways, they're all back together, and then Hitch says, "You did it, Sunny." And Sunny says, "No, we did it together." And Izzy says, "Now we'll never have to be apart." And then they all come together and say, "Hoof to heart." And then the balloon pony comes down. Yeah, we haven't seen him in a while. He was pretty much traveling all across Equestria and then lands back here. And he says, "Hey guys, what'd I miss?" And then he sees Sunny and the others. He sees a unicorn and Pegasus. He's like, "Ah!" And there you go. That's the end of the movie. There you go. That was it. That's how the movie ends. I mean, I don't blame him because he was gone for a long time. He has no idea what happened. And all of a sudden, Pegasi and unicorns are friends with the Earth ponies. He had no idea this was going to happen. So I definitely don't blame him. I don't blame him. But anyways, yes, we are finally done. Oh my God, this took several months to make. I started this back in January. I mean, some of these audio recordings you heard earlier are so old at this point. I have been working so long on this review, and I'm so glad I'm finally done with it. Oh my God. Finally. But yes, My Little Pony New Generation is a really good movie. I absolutely love this movie. It is so good. I think, and it kickstarted the 5th generation in the right direction. And now, of course, you got the Tell Your Tale miniseries on YouTube, and you got the Make Your Mark special that got released not too long ago by the time I'm recording this. This recording. All the other ones, that was way before that. Heck, I started this review even before Tell Your Tale was announced. That's how old this is. But, yeah, so I think I've talked long enough. I think this is like a 180-minute video at this point. So yeah, this is probably going to be my longest video on YouTube. But anyways, that is going to do it. I am finally done. Yes. So yeah, that was my review on My Little Pony New Generation. Really good film. Absolutely enjoyed it, and I cannot wait for more G5 content in the future. And finally, to close it all out, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace!